everybody. So please be sure. Thank you so much for all of your support and liking the video, subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate it. Please know that it is not going unnoticed. Um, so we're back for another episode of Real Housewives of Potomac, season 8, episode 3, Heaven in a Place in Potomac. Heaven is a place in Potomac. I am not feeling good, y'all. I have not been feeling good all weekend. So I'm gonna try my best, but I just have to be honest. This season is just slow to me. It's slow. So anyway, so we pick up at Ashley's housewarming party. Wendy called Mia slow. No lies told. None. Mia, you are dumb. It is what it is. Done. All right. Robin and Aneka kind of hit it off, which is good. I think Aneka just kind of felt like, as somebody who's new to the group, I think she was just kind of noticing like it seems like they're kind of beating up on Robin, and they were. And her friend Giselle is the one leading the cause. Wendy invites Ashley and her boys to her kids' party or whatever, and not Robin. Robin, any disrespect you get from Wendy after you pulled that stunt last year, you deserve it. What do you expect? Okay, you followed Giselle into a level of social isolation, and now you are reaping what happens when you follow somebody blindly and continue to defend their bullshit. Okay, so I don't feel shit for you. Next. All right, Grace and Giselle shopping. They're talking about her going to college and party. She's about ready to graduate and stuff like that. And she was like, but not so much party. She needs to be, I guess they're getting her clothes for when she goes. And Grace is like, are you kidding me? You went to the party. She was like, I was the party, but times were different. Everybody's parents say that, yeah, because people have camera phones and can watch you. But the bottom line is everybody end up on the internet. Everybody end up accidentally being in somebody's thing. It'll be all right. Let it be. Let it be. Gracie is going to the prom dateless. I don't see there anything wrong with that. I actually think that should be normalized a lot more because it wouldn't put so much pressure on young ladies to prove themselves to a young man to invite them out. And also, it is just, um, it's just the society we live in now. And I think it's okay to feel confident enough in yourself to just go and have fun. But I want to know who it was Gracie to get that prom dress. Because Giselle, you acting like you sent her to the mall on her own. Well, how's your father gonna feel about these slits and what exactly does the dress look like? She was asking these questions about the dress like she didn't go. Who went with her? Did you send Gracie by herself? Like I just want to know. I just want to know. Anyway, Wendy is getting ready for her kids' first communion. Okay, Wendy. All right. You can tell when they were doing the practicing for the first communion. We've seen this, even if you're like not Catholic. Um, Wendy and Eddie are preparing clearly for a Catholic baptism. You could tell they did not grow up in an African American Baptist church, even though they were clearly trying to imitate it with that sermon, and it was just giving. They did not have that cultural background, but they wanted to imitate it, and it was corny and it was whack. And we all know within the Catholic tradition, they aren't even like loud. They're very quiet, very efficient in service. It's an hour and that's it. Like, it's just like, why do that? Like, why? It was just corny to me. Anyway, Eddie is wearing a sweatshirt that says Happy Eddie. You know what, boo? That is one way to deal with it. Just fuck them. You know what? People want to do that? Oh, well, own it. So Wendy and Eddie start talking about Ashley's housewarming. Wendy is under the impression that Naneka was coming for her degree and her religion and stuff like that. And this is a perfect example to me of how too many women, even actually, you know what? Not even, especially after they're grown, believe chicks who are in their circle, like it might just be somebody you work with or somebody you just happen to know, but you're not really even friends, but you'll believe them about other women who have done absolutely nothing to you. And that's some whack ass shit to me. Wendy, you know Ashley's a liar. She lies on your good friend Candy. Why? I mean, why even believe it? Now we get to the end of the episode and we start getting a better taste of why. Nevertheless, I'm just saying, like, I just hate that, people lie. Like, and maybe Wendy and Aneka may not have ever been friends, regardless of their, what do you call it? Their ethnic connection as Ibu. But, like, the bottom line is that should have been determined by them, not a bunch of bullshit that other people are telling you. like, period. Okay, because when new black people come to the job, honestly, I understand how they could like not hit it off. I mean, it's like when new black people come to the job, and I've learned to have no expectations because those are the same black people that start to see you as the competition, act funny, don't speak. So to me, I'm not surprised that they haven't beef. Nevertheless, if Naneka and Wendy weren't going to be friends, once again, it needs to be determined by them, and which we find out at the end of the episode. Anyway, like, please stop believing what other people tell you other women think about you. I have been a victim of those kind of lies and presumptions, and it sucks, and that's why I don't keep a lot of people around me, period. And it still happens, but it doesn't hurt as bad when you don't try to, like, reach out and that kind of thing. Um, and that's why I don't trust people. But that's some bullshit for women to act like this toward each other. Anyway, Kieran and Mia. So Mia is in an apartment that's nice. I mean, it's already given that her and G are separated. It just gives that, even if they claim they aren't, because he's coming to pick up the kids and all that shit. She's like, we had to put a pause on the nanny because of finances. And I was like, no shit. Especially since y'all don't have a job, and where are you going? What are y'all doing? I think y'all can take care of your kids. All right, so they talk about Wendy not inviting Robin in front of her, and Karen was like, look, that was rude. But the bottom line is, I also understand why Wendy would do that, because Robin was disrespectful to her last year, and she was. So Karen basically says she understands both sides. All right, Mia talks about her son having an IEP, and people who are not familiar with that, that's part of when your child has been diagnosed with something that interferes with their learning. And her son has a speech impediment where he talks slower or whatever. And she said that's why she was so offended by what Wendy said. I'm gonna be honest, I was with Karen, okay, because I felt like she was pulling apples and oranges. Wendy directed that directly to Mia, and Mia, you are slow, you are dumb. Okay, let's cut that shit out. Okay, but I was with Karen. Karen was like, she doesn't know you, and I tend to know her as a very compassionate person. And she doesn't know you or about your son. You know good and damn well Wendy did not know that. And even if she did, she was still talking about you. She was not talking about your child. She didn't call your children slow. And Mia, you are dumb. You say dumb shit and you lie a lot. Like, what the fuck? Not only that, when she called you slow and then didn't invite you, that was in two different things. I was clear. She called you slow at that table outside. When she didn't invite y'all to her son's stuff in front of other people, y'all was inside in the house during that scene. So don't even act like that was in the same moment. So cut it out. Cut it. Kids are cruel, and I can understand why that would be stressful to Mia, and I know that that can be very difficult. But let's not pretend like that's why Wendy was calling you that. Wendy, Candace, and her friend Kiana, I don't know, whatever. Are the issues between Aneka and Wendy and Ashley because they have different people they want to pitch on the show? I'm like, I don't get it. Why? Wendy is telling Candace about this damn housewarming. Wendy is really bothered about Naneka. She keeps bringing this up. Who didn't say any of the shit Ashley said she said. And you're talking to everybody but Naneka. Okay? Why would you believe anything that comes out of Ashley's mouth? Okay, Wendy wanting Candace and Ashley to be friends, saying this to Candace, that's just stupid. This bitch has fought with Candace despite her fake ass, Ashley's fake ass, pretending to be her friend when she brought her on the show. We knew that was fake. We know it's fake now with Naneka. They talk about on reality shows how sometimes you just need somebody to introduce it, which is how Portia got in trouble with that other girl. But sometimes you just need somebody to pretend like they're your friend or whatever. And essentially, Ashley is the Jackie Christie of the show when it comes to stuff like that. Kieran and Ashley, they meet up at a boutique. I would never have that bitch over my house. I don't blame Karen. I have to do a scene with her, and we got to be out somewhere. I don't want that bad spirit in my house. Anyway, Ashley is calling the store matronly. Girl, you didn't Google where y'all were going to meet and ask to meet somewhere else when Karen already had an outfit prepared? Why didn't you just say, I don't want to shop there? Like, don't be stupid. So Karen asked Ashley about the lawsuit Michael has against Candace. Neither Candace nor Michael are talking about it. Ashley claims she doesn't know. She's lying. Karen talks to Ashley about Wendy, calling her slow. Ashley laughs immediately. I think Ashley laughed because we all know it's true. And Karen did say, look, it would be funny if Mia's son wasn't dealing with a speech impediment. Because, I mean, I know Karen knows better, but it's also kind of like, And Ashley was like, well, anything with stuff like that, Mia will just ride it out. She'll write it out. And I do think that's true to an extent. But at the point in which Kieran still said that to you about her son or whatever, as far as I'm concerned, Ashley, you still have young kids. I'm just going to say this. You need to watch what you laugh at, watch the way you laugh at it, watch what you say, because anything can be your kid too. I'm just saying. Because you slow too, if we going to start doing that. Anyway, Wendy's kids' first communion and brunch. Wendy is really carrying on to her Catholic faith this season, and I feel like it's purposeful. It's clear that she grew up as a Catholic or whatever. And she was saying her mother got divorced from her father, who's a Protestant. A Protestant is simply somebody who's not part of the Catholic Church. When Martin Luther breaks off from the Catholic Church in the 16th century, his point was he had problems with the Catholic Church, and Protestants are basically anybody who is like a Baptist, an Episcopalian, all the other, Pentecostals, all these other people who are Christian but not a part of the Catholic Church. Protestant root word protest against the Catholic Church. That's what happened. Anyway, but it just seems like she's kind of overdoing it. I believe her. She grew up Catholic. But when she was like her mother divorced her father because he had gotten caught up in religion, I was like, so what was your father like? Because your mama seemed really caught up in a whole lot of stuff. And that's just me. Okay. While we on her mother, did Wendy's mother lighten her skin? Am I like not remembering what her mother looked like? Because it was giving real Sammy Sosa. Like, if y'all know who that is, Google it. Or did I just not realize it before? It's not giving like, oh, she just has a lighter concealer than usual. Like, she looks like she lightened her. Am I the only one to notice that? If I'm wrong, put it down in the comments, because I'm not trying to read nobody like that. And, I don't believe in all the colorism police and stuff like that, but I'm just kind of looking like, am I the only one seeing that? And it could be. So her mother is wanting to pray, saying her grandchildren are actually her children. And I was just like, boo, just be a grandmother. And just be like my mother. My mother loves being a grandmother, but that's the whole point, because you don't have the same kind of stress. Like, I just don't get. Anyway, Ashley came in with a dress that had her tits practically out. Okay, and when Candace said the Lord is not pleased. Okay, Candace won. All right, so Candace is asked to make room for Ashley, and then starts asking for another chair for her purse. If she has to move for Ashley, she needs a purse chair. I don't, like, she insisted on this, and she was loud about it. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I don't like to move my purse for anybody if I put it in a chair like that, and there's space, and certainly not for another person. I get it, but it's wrong. It's wrong to act like that. Okay? Now, see, the difference is I don't do that directly. I feel away. Okay? And I'll find some place to hold my purse on my lap, because I don't like putting that shit on the floor. But, Candace, you could have got up instead of yelling at production to bring you another chair. Ashley admits that she misrepresented Aneka in her thoughts about Wendy. And then Wendy said, you told me that. And then I felt like Ashley had never to get up in her shoulders like, well, that's not exactly what I said. No, you lied, bitch. And you knew you were lying. You brought it all up for the camera. Okay? And didn't get mad at Wendy, who's not even coming at you like that, when she should have come at you harder, because she's been in her feelings all episode about this. Like, miss me. Then we get Aneka and Robin meeting up. Robin already voiced me, so I was annoyed. But then we get the deep shit. Aneka talks about Ashley's housewarming. She thought it was cute. And Robin's like, yeah, Ashley's really one of a kind. And I'm like, bitch, why are you being so fake? She's a liar. She's lied on you. She's played you. And trust me, she's just going to do it again. But Robin, you're a dummy too. Speaking of slow. Oh, gosh, there's so many people to put in that category. All right, anyway, so Robin asked her if she had met Wendy before. And I think that's kind of the presumption, because they're both Nigerian and Igbo at this point. And Aneka was like, no, I've seen her. She could point out the place that she had seen her before. But she was like, if she just acted like she wanted to act like the first time she met me, I just went along with it. And honestly, I'm kind of like Aneka in that regard. I'm not going to try to beg nobody to pretend like they know me. You know what I mean? Like, if that's the game we playing, by all means. Like, you know what? And then she started talking about what Wendy had been doing and her family. And I'm not going to lie. First of all, bravo. That was a reason to go back and forth between that communion and what Aneka was saying. Okay? But the difference is we're actually hearing Aneka give this story from Aneka. Okay? Not from Ashley and her bullshit. Okay? So it don't make Ashley right. So anyway, apparently Wendy and her people, her family, have been talking shit about Aneka and saying she's using her name to get into the Potomac circle or whatever, this and the other. I believe it. I believe it. Okay? And first of all, let's go ahead and be real. Wendy, you are not that girl. And you're not that girl on this show. Okay? So don't act like if there's gonna be a name, people have to kind of go after you. That's some whack shit. I don't understand why you on the show either. And your friend Kieran and whoever Deborah, you will never be on the show. And if you are, I will quit watching because I can't take it. But like, there's already too many people on this goddamn cast as it is. So where was I going with that? Anyway, that's just something I want to say. Anyway, Wendy's mother apparently calling Aneka up, went all talking about praying for her against her, put a hex, something like that. And then they keep doing the back and forth, and Robin is shocked. Robin thinks her mother may have put a hex on her because she's been having a lot of bad luck. Robin, you make bad decisions. Cut it out. Naneka, I believe it. I believe it. Although something about Naneka just doesn't, it's not giving it to me. I thought she was going to get on my nerves. Now I just feel like she's kind of like boring, and she's going to go like this. It does give LA. It does give that she spent a lot of time in LA. Anyway, that's all I have to say about this episode. I will see y'all soon. Have a great week.